everybody. It's the Racetrack Ladies.
Hi.
Hey. It's been a few months.
Yeah, we're not in southern Florida.
You were going to say California.
I was going to say California.
And we're not in Phoenix either, but we are in San Antonio where it's Fiesta. Woo-hoo. So, we just finished watching the Phoenix race. It was the Subway something.
500. Fresh.
Yeah.
Because aren't Subways fresh?
And wasn't it cool?
So.
So Mark Martin wins the race. And on the top of his car in Victory Lane was a big old Subway sandwich.
That was the biggest Subway I've ever seen.
That puppy was huge.
That was $5.
That took like 2 heads of lettuce at least.
Yeah.
Huge.
It had a lot of meat.
Looked like some pepperoni on there, or maybe those were tomatoes. I couldn't tell.
But I'm not so sure that Mark Martin eats meat.
You know what? I think that Subway was bigger than Mark Martin.
I know. Probably. And
If you stood was.
Yeah.
I think it was.
So anyhow, so we had the race tonight, and Mark Martin was on the pole.
Yes, he
and
was.
we had Kyle Busch starting on the outside.
Yes, we did.
That's a fact.
And Tony Stewart qualified very well, but this is a racetrack that he liked, so we knew that he was going to be in contention tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so,
we knew he was racing.
Leave me out here by myself.
and I'm going to just say it here for the record that I did pick Mark Martin to win this race yesterday before they qualified.
Whatever.
You and about 5 other
Yeah, no one else would have picked Mark Martin to win today.
There were other sports commentators that picked him too.
Yeah, whatever.
Lucky guess.
Before he qualified, I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, so the race starts, and it was actually kind of a humdrum kind of race to begin with, but Mark Martin was leading a lot of laps.
I don't know. I think about 3/4 of the way through, I kind of dozed a little.
Yeah, you did.
No, but it was Mark Martin and Kurt Busch.
You're right.
They were the strongest cars.
They
It was Mark Martin totally. Kurt Busch following 4 seconds behind.
Right.
You know, and Stewart always in the mix.
And Jeff Gordon was in the top 5, 6. Yeah, he was doing all right too.
Until he had some issues.
Yeah.
Well, so we had first caution, and it was Sterling Marlin, boom, went into the wall.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that happens. And we did have a Jacques Debris. That one came up, yeah.
Or entertainment, as Tony Spotter called it.
Yeah.
Or I think Carl Edwards just threw something out the window again.
He could have.
Yeah, his footprint's getting bigger and bigger.
He's not
little
paying attention to
earthwise.
his carbon.
His carbon footprint.
That's right.
Yeah, so, the race, when you think about it, from the beginning to, even halfway, there wasn't a whole lot of excitement going on.
No.
Well, okay, for the first part.
I have to say, though, that one of the more exciting cautions that occurred was the Robbie Gordon-Michael Waltrip incident.
Wow.
Yeah,
Hey,
and Robbie Gordon's comment afterwards.
What does he have to talk? Because I'm sorry.
Excuse me,
I'm
Robbie.
shocked he's even still got
Calling
a car.
the kettle black. You've been there.
Yeah, well, but for Michael, you did feel a little bad for him because on the nationwide race last night, he got booted by Carl Edwards.
He got run over.
So he just decided to pay back somebody else.
I
But he paid back
thought
Carl.
it was purely a race.
He actually just got loose. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't like he intentionally hit anybody.
Well, yeah, tell Robbie that.
Yeah, well, I don't care.
Well, that was,
Well,
that was a
evidently.
very harsh comment, and perhaps in the morning, Robbie, you're going to feel a little bit different.
I don't
I
think
don't
he
think
will.
so. No. He basically said he's looking forward to somebody else driving the 55 next year.
Yeah, then I went, huh? Michael's not going to be in the 55 next year?
Well, apparently, Robbie knows things.
Well, you know what, Robbie? You're just hanging on by a thread with your sponsors.
But he does. Every year he manages to have a sponsor, and he actually manages to be in the top 35.
That's right.
And he makes the races.
He does. So what more can you ask for?
It was just mean.
That was a little drama.
Yeah, well, so...
Anytime you get a driver in the garage during a race, that's drama.
He had emotions, but I guess that's what we want, don't we?
That's
Like,
right, we want emotions out of our drivers.
That's right.
So speaking of emotions out of our drivers,
Who would that be?
well, so let's just talk about Dale Jr.
Oh.
We need some more emotion out of you, Junior. Come on.
But let's talk about Junior and how his entire race went. So, life seemed to be going
It sucked.
okay until he pitted
Oh, yes.
and had an issue.
He didn't pit.
Rule number 1, Junior.
What?
He should
Don't
have
pit.
just. He should have just drove by and waved at him.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That would
Well,
be
he's done
better.
that before, too.
Well, yeah, okay.
That was
See you
cold.
later. Going through the drive-through.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he's like, no, I can't go in. I can't go in.
You can't make me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's
so
some major
it had a lug nut
problems going
issue.
there.
Yeah.
No, he has a team issue.
Yeah.
Well,
There's something
Well,
up.
they did make some changes on the crew. Obviously, it didn't help.
No.
Right.
Now the crew chief tried something a little daring tonight. He left Junior out on the track.
That seemed to work well.
That one worked all right.
Well, clean air is always good,
You
but
know.
Junior led for a while without being contested and extending his lead, so there was something good coming out of it.
Except that they were banking on a caution and at a
Which
track
didn't
which
come.
don't really
yeah, it doesn't happen.
It don't
doesn't have many cautions,
Yeah.
and
Gordon
so
was
therefore,
looking for that, too.
you know, he's the only one that was out of sync as far as gas goes. So
Yeah.
everybody else was fine with gas, but guess what? Junior was not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Junior had the pit issue, one, the missing lug nut, and then pitting out of sequence with the other drivers, which, was a good call until there weren't any other cautions, and then that was a bad call.
Here's my deal. He's a Libra, I'm a Libra. We're just having a rough year. Maybe he should be the stars.
So anyway,
Well, that being said,
so Junior, okay, so then one of those final restarts, Junior's like up there towards the front, and then he started to drift back. and
yeah,
back.
big time drifting.
And then
back.
he is in no man's land and goes down a lap, and then I believe Casey Mears got in his way.
No.
Yeah, Casey Mears booted him.
Yeah, Casey Mears took him
booted
out.
him.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, I go back to the crew chief. Why did you leave Junior out there? His
Yeah.
car was squirrely all over the place.
Yeah.
You knew he had to get fuel. Why did you leave him out there? Why
As
did you
soon as
pull
he
him?
went down a lap,
Yeah.
he should have been brought
Come
in.
in,
That's
get the
right.
gas.
No, but if
Get the new
anybody
tires.
remembers what Tony Uri Jr. said, he said, well, we've been running well up to this point, so...
What race has he been watching?
Yeah, I'm thinking,
Exactly.
dude, what race are you watching? It's
So,
not the same one
to
that,
me,
that we were watching.
It comes down to the crew chief has got to go because it's the pit team that's bad, it's the car setup that's bad.
Yeah.
He's in charge of it. Tony Uri Jr., get out of here.
You know-
Pull the trigger. Pull the trigger. We're ready.
It's a hard decision,
It really is.
but it's one, as an owner, you gotta make
That's
it.
right.
Pull the trigger and get digger while you're at it.
Yeah, so, but
I'm just saying.
They're on the same page.
So, and I would also like to say that, Jeff Gordon was running pretty good up in the beginning of the race until he had a tire issue because Denny Hamlin seemed to be in everybody's way tonight.
Oh my goodness.
And so, he bumped with him, Jimmy Johnson bumped with him, and then, Jeff had the issues, and then he had a pit road issue, which was unusual. Life wasn't good.
I wonder if they're gonna do a Carl Edwards deal, like fire.
As soon as there's a problem, yeah.
Fire the team member because
No.
Yeah.
Johnson had an issue,
Right.
Gordon had an
Right.
issue. I'm like, ooh, are they gonna fire the guy?
So then the race just kind of went on, and so Mark Martin was leading towards the end, and he had a pretty good lead over Tony Stewart. And then there was that caution with 7 laps to go or 12 laps to go or whatever. Everybody pitted, so they put everybody on equal footing.
Well, but it was the coming out of the pits after that pit stop. That was the issue because it was Mark Martin, Kyle Busch, and Tony Stewart. And Tony was screaming on the radio. They were speeding. They were speeding.
And Kyle Busch, sure enough, was speeding.
But the 5 was not. Mark
No.
Martin was not speeding.
That's
Back
right.
to the end of the line.
That's right.
Kyle.
See ya.
I hate that for Kyle.
I do.
Yeah,
It's too
I
bad.
Karma.
So, but the good thing was that Mark Martin ended up coming out first. Well, he was more or less first. Ryan Newman did not pit, so he really restarted the race first, but was quickly dumped at the first turn.
And Tony could not catch him.
Yeah, so Mark Martin goes on to win the race, and it was his first race with Hendrick Motorsports. So now there's only one Hendrick Motorsports driver that has not won.
Who would that be?
Well, I want to say, Junior, so many times I've heard you on the radio telling everybody how awful Mark Martin is. He's just an old man. You don't know
Old
how to
eyes.
race, And guess what? The old man beat you.
schooled
Well,
you.
not only did the
Yeah.
old man win and go to victory lane, he had a lot of drivers come up to him to congratulate him,
Yes.
shake his hand, and show the respect that he's due.
That's right.
So,
And I
yeah.
thought that was pretty cool.
So congratulations to Mark Martin for winning his first race with Hendrick Motorsports, and it was a pretty good race.
And all I want to
That's very
say, Mr. Hendrick, you need to get a plan.
That's
A
right.
plan for the
It
88.
is time to get a plan.
Because if you need one, we'll write one.
That's right,
Yeah.
the racetrack ladies are on it. That's right, we'll tell you what you need to
We'll
do.
do a strategic plan for the 88.
That's right.
and it will
Alright.
be rough.
So next week we're in Talladega, so be sure to catch us. We'll be tweeting during the race, so catch us on Twitter. That's hard to say. But also catch us at our website at racetrackladies.com. And until next time,
We'll
we'll be at the track and going green.